The number one regret people have at the end of their lives isn't the mistakes they made, it's the chances that they never took. And for many creators and entrepreneurs, that regret isn't decades away, it's happening right now. Every time you freeze before hitting publish, every time you fail to ship what you have created, every time you hesitate, you're teaching your brain one thing, that fear is the boss. Today I'm going to show you how to flip that script for good. You say you want to start your own business, you want to be a creator and finally be seen for who you are. But when it's time to hit record, post or ship your idea, something shuts down. You freeze, you over edit, you tell yourself, I'll do it tomorrow. And if that is you, be kind to yourself because you're not lazy. There's nothing wrong with you. You're just stuck in a fear loop that no one ever taught you how to escape. We're afraid of being cringe because we're afraid of judgment. And that fear is ancient. Robin Dunbar's research shows that our brains evolved to manage about 150 relationships, our tribe. Back then, being perceived as weak or unfit could get you kicked out, which could literally mean death. Many people's fear manifests itself as perfectionism. Brené Brown's research reveals that perfectionism isn't about high standards, it's about the fear of shame. And if you don't change your relationship with fear and shame, you'll stay trapped in a cycle that quietly destroys your dreams. When I was a kid, every time my family got lost on the road, that was before GPS, I'd hide behind the front seats. I can still remember the sound of the blinkers and the scratchy carpet fabric under my cheeks as I kept myself as low and small as possible, out of sight. I wasn't scared we wouldn't find the way, but I was embarrassed that we would look like we didn't belong on the road, like a family of losers. I don't hide behind the seats anymore, but that fear of failing in public followed me for years. I carried that fear with me into adulthood, and I hated that fear because it really did hold me back from living my best life. It kept me from taking chances that could have transformed my life for the better. A few years ago, after spending months and hundreds of hours on producing an online course, when it came time to actually launch it, I became so overwhelmed by the fear of failure that I simply decided to give up on it. In fact, I deleted everything I created. 1 week later, sitting at my desk, thinking back, I couldn't believe what I had done, and I was feeling so sorry for myself. But at that moment, I realized that I had a very clear choice. Either I had to make peace with the fact that fear was in charge and give up on my dreams, or I had to dig deeper and find the courage to change things. Luckily, I was more stubborn than fearful, and I wasn't going to give up on my dream. Now, what I'm going to say now is going to sound ridiculous because it was, but I literally jumped up from my desk and I shouted, "Enough is enough. I'm done allowing fear to rule my life." And although I didn't frame it like that at the time, that was the day I awakened my inner rebel. That was also the day that things started to change for me. Something shifted in me and gave me the activation energy that I needed to start moving in the right direction. Not instantly and magically, but one small radical act at a time. I went as far as to make this rebellion official, and I created a document that I call the Rebel's Creed, which I built around 5 core principles. Number 1 is rebellion, which is about refusing to let fear or doubt control you. Number 2 is radical responsibility, which is about owning your choices, your time, and your life. Number 3, radical action, which is about acting before you feel ready. Number 4, radical commitment to growth, which is about learning from every experience, even failures. And number 5 is the refusal to conform, which is about embracing your unique voice and vision. I truly believe that these 5 principles are fundamental to breaking free from procrastination, fear, and self-doubt because they rewire your identity. Once you start seeing yourself as a rebel, someone who chooses courage over fear and action over excuses, you stop waiting for motivation and start building momentum. That's when your life begins to change. Not because fear disappears, but because you stop letting it define you. The Rebel's Creed is now part of the first step of the ACT framework, which is what I teach in my course, Crush It. This course is aimed at helping self-doubting creators and entrepreneurs overcome procrastination by helping them forge a creator identity. The ACT framework stands for A. Awaken the rebel, C. Challenge the fear, and T. Take radical action. Now, let me share with you the full Rebel's Creed. It goes like this. I rise up and break free from the chains of fear, doubt, and self-limiting beliefs. I take full responsibility for my actions, my choices, and my life's direction. I act courageously and assertively, taking risks to create the life I desire. I embrace every experience as a lesson dedicated to lifelong growth. I dare to be different, boldly embracing my unique voice and vision. I am a rebel. I have found this creed to be an extremely powerful tool for breaking the fear cycle and awakening the inner rebel. It works because identity is the strongest driver of human behavior. Research from Daphne Oyserman from the University of Southern California on identity-based motivation shows that when you see yourself as the kind of person who takes action, your brain interprets challenges as part of your story instead of threats to avoid. Neuroscientists have also found that even quick identity affirmations like declaring I am a rebel activate the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that helps regulate fear and decision making. In other words, your words literally help rewire your brain's response to fear. That's why the moment I awakened my inner rebel, something shifted. It didn't make the fear vanish, but it put me back in the driver's seat. And from there, every small radical act helped build momentum. You can do the same. And you can start right now. Make your own Rebel's Declaration. You can repeat after me. Say to yourself, from now on, I refuse to be guided by my fears. I refuse to be ruled by my doubts. I choose action. I choose courage. I am a rebel. And then maintain your rebellion by living the 5 core principles from the Rebel's Creed. Personally, I recite it every morning or every time fear shows up. You know what? A year from now, you could look back at a library of work that you dared to create and share, or you could look back at another year lost to fear. One of those realities is inevitable. The question is, which one will you choose? If you're ready to crush fear-based procrastination and finally make progress on your dreams, check out my course, Crush It. The link to it is in the description, or you can also grab my free weekly newsletter, Rebel Create. The link for that is also in the description, so please go and check it out. Remember, there are people out there waiting for you to show up and share the message that only you can deliver. Your silence helps no one. Until next time, cheers.